Welcome to the Circle of Trust podcast with your host, law firm CMO Keith Dyer. Brought to you by LexGrow, the leader in law firm marketing strategy, training, and implementation. If you're ready to grow your law firm with predictable case flow and revenue, you're in the right place.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Circle of Trust podcast. We're excited today to talk to Amanda Baggett, Florida personal injury and wrongful death attorney. Amanda, tell us a little bit about your law firm and yourself. I saw that you're a mother of four. That's pretty awesome. That's also a tremendous challenge in and of itself, right? And I can only imagine that balancing that with owning your own personal injury law firm is probably keeps you very busy. But tell us a little bit about like where you went to law school and how you got into doing this.
Sure, absolutely. And my husband and I own this law firm together. And so we often refer to it as our fifth child. So we have five children, including the firm. But a little bit about me, I grew up outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I went to the University of Georgia undergrad, and then I got my law degree from Mercer, which is in Macon, Georgia. And that was, I can't believe it, almost 22 years ago now.
Wow.
So I've been a lawyer for a long time. And so our office is located here in Jacksonville, Florida, where we live now. We represent clients in Florida and Georgia, and we have three offices here in the Jacksonville area.
Very cool. So when you say in the Jacksonville area, see like a main office and a couple of satellite offices in suburbs?
Correct. We have a main office downtown Jacksonville, and then we have an office on what we call the south side of town, and then another office in an area called Nocatee, which is in St. Johns County, a little bit south of Jacksonville.
I don't know if people realize that Jacksonville, land-wise, is one of the largest cities in the United States. It's got a lot of
largest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
City in the United States. It's huge. Yes.
Yeah, by land area, and it's actually got a very large population too. So I was doing a little bit of research on you, and I saw that you were certified in roadway, work zone, accidents. Can you tell us about that? I've never seen that before, and I love it. It's cool. This is what I do, and that those accidents probably carry with them a lot of problems that you have to solve for people. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I have a unique background when it comes to personal injury and wrongful death cases. The early part of my career, I spent representing engineers on the defense. So I was representing engineering companies in cases involving roadway design and construction defects, where if an individual got into a car accident, sometimes it can be issues with the road. Either it's in a work zone or it's just the design of the road or the structures nearby that do contribute to accidents, unfortunately. So I was defending engineers and contractors in those types of cases for a large part of my career, and then I switched sides. But when I was doing that, I became board certified in construction law by the Florida Bar. And so I don't know of another personal injury lawyer that has that certification, but that really is my passion and expertise, are those roadway design and construction cases.
Yeah, I noticed when I was reading about you on LinkedIn, I noticed that, and I was like, that's a really neat. And then now to hear about the fact that you actually worked on the other side of this probably gives you a lot of unbelievable insight into how to execute these cases effectively and get maximum compensation. Not to sound like a commercial, but
yeah, no, absolutely. Those types of cases are very, very complex. Understanding how road construction is even done from the bidding process all the way through construction completion. It's a very complicated process. And I have a lot of experience in those documents and understanding the process. It helps me to quickly pinpoint the issues and if there's even really a case.
Cool. I love that. That gives you a differentiating factor as the marketer now in my brain starts to think about that. Let's talk about marketing a little bit. So what have you found to be successful in marketing your firm thus far? And just give us a little bit of an idea about that, and then maybe some of the frustrations that you experienced in coming to what you feel like is a successful strategy.
Absolutely. And I will say that when I was a younger lawyer, it was repeated to me a lot by older lawyers, older partners, that if you do good legal work, more work will come to you. And I think that for a long time, for decades, really, that really was the way that people grew their businesses, or at least maintain their businesses, by just doing excellent legal work. At some point in time, that obviously shifted. But I do think one thing that's true is that your own personal connections and your personal network, that absolutely contributes to the success of your business, whether it's owning a law firm or any business really. Reminding the people that are already in your network who you are and what you do, I think by and large is helpful. Besides that, obviously, there is a whole vast landscape of digital marketing. And then, of course, there's everything out of home from billboards and TV and radio and all of those things as well. But for us, I think what has worked well, we do digital marketing, we have social media, those sorts of things. We are not on billboards yet. I know in Florida, people are really probably can't wait for another personal injury lawyer to be on a billboard. So we might
Yeah.
do that here soon, but so far we haven't done that.
Yeah. So what have been some of your frustrations in the growth or the marketing of the firm?
That's a great question. And I would just say that it's a saturated market. Any personal injury lawyer knows that it's a very saturated market. And so if we're looking for if there's any piece of the ocean left that's blue in this market, it's very hard to find. And so I think just being very flexible and open-minded when it comes to different avenues to pursue, whether that's sponsorships, things on a smaller level that maybe reaching people that otherwise wouldn't even be in your audience. I think that's something that we've seen success with.
I do think I love that you just said that about the sponsorships, because I see so often that law firms are unwilling to do some of these community type things. And I see the ones that are willing to get involved with the community are more successful overall, because I think that when you touch people in a way that isn't an obvious marketing thing, like you're showing that you care, that it means something, and you can build off of these things, and it makes your overall marketing very successful, or more successful, I should say. So I would encourage you to continue to think about those kinds of opportunities. So what is your sort of biggest fear about marketing your law firm? Like what do you lay in bed at night worried about marketing? Of course, you probably have 10 million other things to worry about other than marketing, but you are trying to grow your business like anybody. You're still a very young person. So what would you like, what are your fears about the marketing world?
I don't know that I would call it a fear necessarily, but I do think it's something that it's really important that to make yourself stand out, because I think that by and large, if you go to most law firms' websites and you read what they have to say, you could really apply that to any other law firm in the area. Maybe
So true. It's everybody just copies what each other says.
that's exactly right. And so we know what we believe makes us stand out from the rest, but being able to put that on a billboard, for example, in 5 words or less, why they should pick our law firm instead of all of the other law firms. I think those are the real hurdles when it comes to marketing professional services that everyone in this industry has to battle with.
Yeah, I think maybe the way that you can somewhat combat that, I don't know if combat it is the right word, you can deal with it, is to just stand out first, and then take them like I call it like a conversion train, right? Conversion is I got your attention. The next conversion is why should I use you? And so that's good that you think that way, but it can be very difficult, like you said, especially on a billboard, to show why you're different than anyone else, because you all basically do the same things. But that makes sense. I guess so. The biggest fear would be how you get attention and then get people to put the dots together that they should actually hire you instead of someone else.
Absolutely. I think that's true. And then I also think too, I think there are it's interesting, what are people's reactions to seeing you on a billboard, for instance? We know from jury selection that a lot of times potential jurors don't have a warm feeling about lawyers they see on billboards, but we also know that billboards can be very effective. So it's navigating those barriers when it comes to marketing.
Sure. I think people do have the skepticism of any lawyer that's on billboard just because of all the like Better Call Saul and all the TV shows and everything. But at the end of the day, I think what matters even more is familiarity and establishing yourself as an authority. And so if you can do those things, then the billboards are just reminders that you're there. So getting that good reputation that you talked about in the beginning is so vital to building a business. So have you read any books or anything like that on law firm growth, or is there anything in particular that you could share that you think might be helpful for other firms?
I've read several. I listen to a lot of podcasts for sure. So I would say that Fireproof was a great book. Any lawyer in the personal injury world or otherwise who hasn't read Fireproof, I think you should just
I've
read
read
it.
it. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's a
And
very interesting story about how he did what he did, and also just love his commercials are so good.
yes, excellent, excellent. I like other books. Maybe they're not necessarily legal, but they're applicable to business ownership. Small Giants, I think, is one. Blue Ocean Strategy. Any books that kind of involve those types of things, I think, can be really helpful.
The blue ocean strategy, I do that a lot. I've been actually having a lot of fun in Chat GPT, going in and trying to get it to help me come up with blue ocean strategies for my firms. And so it's been really fun to do that. It's amazingly effective too, by the way.
Yes, yes, I know. Chat GPT is so helpful in so many regards, from parenting to business ownership.
I really think that it's the greatest technology I've ever seen, to be honest with you. And when I do that and then I go to Google and I realize Google has a whole other function, it just feels antiquated to me. I don't know why. It's going to be interesting when these things all start to merge, and then as long as they're not implementing it for us, then we're okay. But when that starts to happen, I don't know what we're in store for. But
I
I've
agree
been
with you. Yeah, there's so much unknown. I actually heard in a meeting earlier this morning that because for every time people enter the word please into Chat GPT, it costs like billions of dollars or something like that. So I'm afraid at some point we're going to have to get our hands around what it's doing that might not be positive. But for now, I know lots of us are using it.
Oh yeah, and the more we use it, the smarter it gets. Is the other scary part.
Sure.
So, what investments have you made to solve your marketing? Is it just do you hire digital marketing companies? Do you hire agencies? How does that look for your firm? What is your sort of
So yeah, so we work with a few vendors in that arena, but we also have an in-house team, a small team that works in-house, and we found great success there as well because they're in our firm. They see the work that we're doing on a daily basis. So things like social media, we feel like no one could do better in social media than our in-house team who sees the work we're doing every day and who's behind the camera and that sort of thing, making sure that it's current and on trend and all of those things that social media loves.
I applaud you for doing that. I totally agree with you. Social media from a distance can be effective, but it's not as good as understanding the heartbeat of the firm and what's going on, and sharing that with people every day, because that's what social media is about, relating to people. And so I think that's awesome. So if your marketing was ideal, like you were in an ideal state with it, what would that look like for you?
Gosh, that's a great question. I feel like in the context of personal injury law, ideal would mean endless money and we'd be everywhere all at once, I would think. I look at marketing as I do investments. I think that you have the investments that you want the short term return on and your midterm and then your long term investments. And that's really the way that marketing is. I think that a lot of the branding, things like billboards, that's not going to necessarily pay off for a few years and you'll have to be patient with that investment. But then there's short term strategies that can pay off much more quickly. Pay per click is a good example of a short term strategy. So I think for us, it's really, we just always make sure that we have a very balanced approach when it comes to our investment and just obviously maintaining our cost of acquisition as well.
Yeah, wow, you really are more on top of this than a lot of firms. Just listen to the way that you're talking. Most firms don't even know what their cost per acquisition is, or a lot don't. I find that to be shocking. So, is there any pain that you're feeling right now in regards to the marketing that you trying to overcome? Is there anything that's going on currently that's tough for you?
I would say something that all firms that work in the digital marketplace deal with is the changes to the algorithms.
For
That
sure.
is something that it's just this great unknown. And so constantly being nimble and flexible and reacting in real time when there is an algorithm shift to understand how we can be more successful. But that really it happens on a weekly basis. So that's always a frustration. It always keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, they just had one in March. I don't know if that affected you guys at all, but it did some of our other firms.
Oh, absolutely. It's up and down and all around, and every other firm that we talk to experiences that as well. So we're all in it together. I guess that's a good thing.
So are there any life circumstances right now that are making you want to grow your business more, or is there a reason why what is your ultimate sort of goal for the firm?
I am the type of person, I am a quick start. If you've ever done any of the Colby training, I'm a quick start. So
That's
I'm
cool.
in, you have, okay. So what are you? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I can't remember. I get them mixed up with the other one. It's been a while since I've done it. The disc assessment, I get them mixed up or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. So I am always growing all aspects of my life. I'm an optimizer. And so for sure, that is something that we're growing. But then there's also, it's so true, the old saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. And that could not be more true in a saturated market like personal injury. So we're always, definitely trying to grow and stay ahead of that growth by staffing our team. And so those are two things that I'm always working on from a business development standpoint.
That's awesome. It's cool that this is probably why you're so successful too, is you're really on top of this. And I applaud that. It's almost like you've gotten a business degree somewhere. You probably have a business degree from running your firm for the past.
Isn't that funny? That's the thing that they don't teach you in law school. They teach you, maybe they do now, but 20 years ago, they taught you nothing about how to run a law firm or to be a business owner. And so it's definitely been learning on the job, which has been a very quick and hard education, but I think we're doing okay now.
To defend them, look at how the world has changed since you went to law school. Mm-hmm. It's just unbelievable. Even just attorney marketing alone, it's only been, 2 or 3 decades that we were even allowed to market you guys. So you just got all these different things. And then the combination of that with the technology, and it just creates a whole nother world.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no more yellow pages.
Yeah, you didn't even imagine it 10, 15 years ago. Right. And I'm really interested to see where it goes now, because the more we advance technologically, the faster we advance, especially with the AI. It should be interesting. So if there's one thing that you feel like you're missing right now in your marketing, what would it be? What would you like to accomplish right now that's in front of you?
I think we've talked a little bit about billboards, and that's next on our agenda of things to tackle, and coming into that scene in a way that is something that we feel like is different and refreshing. And so, so we're excited to do that. That'll be next.
So billboards, as you mentioned before, I do a lot of them. I probably have about 85 under contract right now throughout the U.S. They're fun to work on. They're fun to design. I enjoy that part of it. And there are strategies that you should use, I think, and I'm just giving you a little bit of unsolicited advice. Instead of people worrying about what location they're in, obviously that matters. What really matters more is the amount of impressions that they create, so that you're seeing them constantly, right? And that is more important than it being in a certain spot. You want to combine it. So if you can combine a strategy where you have big bulletins with rotating posters or rotating digitals, that's the effect that you want. And I would try to spread them all over the entire market. What I would do is probably look to see where your current clients are coming from, and maybe try to concentrate them more in those areas. And unless you want to try to get another area of the city that you're trying to get more work from, that the strategy might be that you put more there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think too, when you think about, don't be boring. That's the thing. Morris Bart from Louisiana?
No, I don't know who that is.
He is the personal injury attorney in Louisiana, and he's a genius marketer. He has the best billboards, and they're bright, they're yellow. You can't miss them. They have these little taglines that make you wonder what the next one's going to say all the time.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's what I was talking about before, is if you can get that immediate catch, and then once you catch them there, when they're going and they're searching for you on pay-per-click, when you've got an issue they think you can solve, they're going to remember that psychologically. They're going to see you in as many spots, and that's where the conversion starts to come together. So you won't see people worry a lot about the phone numbers on the billboards, and I don't think that people typically are hurt and they look up and go, oh, I just don't think that's the case. They remember the impression so that later on they come back and they find you when they're searching for you. Anyway, that's my unsolicited advice to you today.
Thank you. No, I love unsolicited advice always.
All right. I'm full of it. So as we get to know each other, I get tired of it. So if you could make or wave a magic wand and create a program, and I think you already answered this question, so we don't need to get into it in too detail. If you could wave a magic wand and everything be working for you in your marketing, what would that look like?
Again, I think it would just be endless money so we could have fun and try all the things and in
Yeah.
depth that we want to.
I have actually been in a couple of situations where I've had firms that have gotten a major influx of cash, either from a large settlement or from a loan or both sometimes. And so I've been in the situation where we could go do that. And it is fun, but it's also, what happens is, and then you probably you realize this better than even I do, is you can go out and buy all those cases, and that's great. You'll market and buy them, right? And then you have to get them to pay. You have to get paid on them. You have to execute them and get paid on them. So that takes a while. So the cash flow is a problem, right? It can be an issue. So that's one thing that we've experienced.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. And truly, I'm teasing about the money, but as anyone in this industry or any saturated industry knows, it's truly a black hole. The sky is absolutely limitless when it comes to marketing in this area. So I'm teasing, but you're absolutely right. You have to stay ahead of it. And that's something before we ever really pushed into growth. Like I said, staffing was so important because we knew even if we grew and got more cases, if we weren't taking care of those cases and doing a great job, then those people wouldn't become brand ambassadors. They wouldn't be referring us to friends and family, and we wouldn't be doing a good job by them. And our current clients are the most important people in the world to us. So absolutely, it's not just one thing. It's looking at all the different things and looking years down the road at your success, how it's all going to play out.
yeah, you have a great vision for that, and that's really nice. I don't have a whole lot of other questions, but are there any other aspects of your firm right now that you're growing? In growing your firm, are there other aspects that you find challenging right now?
Not today. Not today. I would not say that hiring is challenging. I would say that hiring is, we take it very slowly to make sure that we're onboarding the right people. So I think that takes a lot of time, but it's always worth it to go slowly to make sure that we're really building the team that we want to have.
Yeah, what's the term? The term that I always hear: fire fast, hire slow.
Yes, exactly. Very true words. Whoever came up with that, they knew what they were talking about.
All right, so one last little piece here. And this is always a fun one. Fill in the blanks for me. I want to go from blank to blank so that I achieve what? What would you say to that, Amanda?
Oh gosh,
That's
that's like Mad Libs when you're a kid and you fill in the blanks. I would just say that I think it would be, I'd love to become, for Baggett Law to become more of a household name here in Jacksonville so that we can help more people. And that's truly the way that we look at it. We do believe that we partner with our clients in ways that other firms don't, not because they can't, but they just have a different business model. And so we still service our clients the way that we did back when we were a very small law firm. My husband and I, as owners, we are involved in every case. We speak to every client, and they know that, and they have our personal cell phone numbers. And so we never want to get to a point where our growth has exceeded our values. And so I would just say that I want to go from where we are now to being able to help more and more people, but continue delivering the service that we provide.
I love that. So is your husband also an attorney?
Yes.
Did you meet in law school or after?
We met at a law firm. We were both associates at the same law firm.
Oh, very cool. What an interesting story. So your partner is your husband in the
Yes.
law firm. And do you have any other partners or just the two of you?
It's just the two of us, mom and pop.
That's great. I started my business with my mother
Okay.
20 years ago. Yep. So we were not a mom and a pop, but we were a mom and a son, which is also a unique setup, right? It's not normal. She sold radio and TV advertising as I was growing up. And so I grew up around this industry anyway.
Oh, I love that. I love that. There's a book called, speaking of books, it's called The Speed of Trust. And I think that is something that has enabled us to grow our firm because we have that inherent trust, being married and best friends and partners in law, partners in life, all those things. We don't have to set a formal meeting with a formal agenda. If there is a decision that needs to be made quickly, we're very nimble and we can make those decisions. And with full confidence and respect in the other person's perspective. So I do think that's a huge benefit to being married and co-owners.
Yeah, you guys are truly partners in every aspect of the word. You're partners in parenting, you're partners in your own marriage, and you're partners in your business. And if you can align all that and it works, how powerful. That seems so incredible to me. I think a lot of people would struggle with it, but maybe it sounds like it's working for you. That's great.
Oh yeah, we hear that is the one thing I hear the most, I think, is people say, I could never work with my wife. I could never work with my husband. And I think for Matt and I, we met years ago as friends working alongside each other. So we've truly never known any other way. We've always worked with one another. And so it's worked beautifully for us, but it is something that people always joke about for sure.
It sounds like you're blessed that you have the ability to do that. And I think some people can say that, but I think it boils down to personalities and values, as you mentioned before. It sounds like if they're aligned, then that's great.
Yeah, they are. It's good. Everything is going well. So thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Are there any things you'd like to talk more about or anything you'd like to ask me?
I don't think so, but I really appreciate your advice and I love being on your show. So thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. Thank you. And if we can ever help you, let us know.
I will do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Circle of Trust powered by LexGrow. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow us and leave a review. Want to grow your law firm faster? Book a free strategy call at lexgrow.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep innovating. Let's grow with LexGrow.